My name is Olorunfemi Moleyin. I am a postdoc and a lecturer at Biochemistry Department, Ekiti State University, Ado-Ekiti, Nigeria. I'm in Biochemistry Department. I work basically, doing research and also teaching some other grad students. Thank you. I became interested in science because of my elder siblings who actually were in science class during their high school. They always talk about physics, chemistry, and biology, and from that, the bonding in the family tends to, like spur my curiosity that, oh, there's something in it in science. Even when they were like trying to push me to study economics and all that, I said, no, I wanted to study science. Then at the same time, because of the environment, in Africa here, people tends to, access medical care by virtue of what they can see around, right? From the same words of Hippocrates that said, let food be thy medicine and let medicine be thy food. So I tend to like feel like, oh, there is something in it for me along that line. And that's why I get, in sport to actually go into science and predominantly biochemistry as it were, to actually learn more about that aspect. My immediate elder brother, who happens to be an assistant professor currently now in the US, his love for science is enormous. His name is Adebayo Moleyin. He's an assistant professor in Arizona University. His kind of tenacity and love for science is contagious. So most of the time, because of the little age difference, we talk and that kind of like helped me a lot. So, and even up to now, I still read his profile to give me a kind of an energy. Then also my chemistry teacher in high school, he's also a renowned professor in Nigeria here, Professor Ubo. He's in fact is the number one biochemist in Nigeria now, presently. The way he taught us in chemistry that time, I'm like, wow, I really have to understand science like this person. And those has been the high points for my career, I think. Currently, I'm working on diabetes and some neurodegenerative disease, but my tools for working are actually medicinal plants. In Africa here, we are surrounded by green vegetations. And one thing I understand about science is your science has to be relevant to your environment. And a lot of people here, because of the expensive nature of the drugs that we get from synthetic compounds, they tend to mix, so many decoctions together from plants. So, and that's spurred my interest to like, how come people want to use plants to treat themselves and they don't know the science behind it? So I work predominantly on medicinal plants, identifying their bioactive components or compounds in them and trying to predict their mechanism of action. So that's what I've been doing presently, in my research presently. My career path has been a bit smooth till my master's degree time. That's not necessarily been in a break like that. But after my master's in the University of Ibadan, I couldn't get the funds to run my PhD. So I had to stop and then start to do entrepreneur, so I left science for like maybe 4 or 5 years, even though I just read, to follow the trends in science. But at that time, that's the uniqueness in some of our research here in Africa. It's not like in the Western world that there's always funding to go and do PhD. Here you have to walk through yourself, try to raise money yourself to study. And I feel that's one of the strengths we need to showcase in the Black history, that you have a lot of people that have the passion, but the funding sometimes is not there, and that tend to affect, my research a little bit until 5, 6 years after, from 2013, I'd had my master's from 2008. So I didn't start my PhD until like 2013, 2014. So that 6 year gap, had to work, try to fend for myself. Then I got a job, and then from the job, I was able to raise money. Then later, got some funding to now start. So apart from that, then from that time, my career picked up, and then I've been enjoying science and then funding from bodies too, especially ASBMB too. Thank you. My next career steps, definitely, I want to be a PI, on my own, have my own established lab. And then at the same time, because currently I still work with my boss, in his own lab, we run things together as a collaboratory, but I want to be on my own to have my own lab established, and then at the same time be able to bring out my own mainstream of research, because, just like I mentioned that we work on medicinal plant, we notice in Africa, especially even in Nigeria, we have few NMR plants. That's NMR plants, just one or two in the whole country. So, natural products, it's limited. So I intend to have my own, and then at the same time collaborate with existing labs outside of the country and really forge ahead in my career. What I love most about science is the answering of the question why. Because I notice that a lot of people just do things, they don't really know what exactly is the reason behind it. And I notice that science has been able to bridge that gap in providing the answer to the why. And to aspiring scientists, even though I'm also aspiring scientist still, I learned these two words from two renowned scientists, the IUBMB president, that's Alexander Newton, and Dario, the president-elect. Newton said to her, science is about passion, and Dario said science is about persistence. So to aspiring young scientists, passion and persistence is very, very key, because you are going to weather through so many storms. Sometimes, aspiring mother can get married, have kids, but you still have to come back. So the passion and the persistence is a very important key. That's what has helped us a lot, because there are so many limiting factors here, but yet we were like, because of the passion, because of the persistence, we kept on pushing, pushing. So that's it for me, and that's it for every young scientist all over the world, no matter where you are, no matter the region or location. The passion must be there, and you must be willing to pay the price in persistence. Thank you.